Can we talk about Peppa Pig? Created back in 2004 by Astley Baker Davies, the show follows a girl named Peppa and her family as they live in what looks like a sort of Middle English village populated by a variety of other animals. I'm not sure why I'm describing this to you. Unless you've lived under a rock for the last decade, you probably know what Peppa Pig is. Certainly in the UK and Ireland anyway. I'm not sure if it's American reach. Maybe there's some sort of Americanized version like, I don't know, Yankee Hog or something. But anyway, Peppa Pig is pretty big. And it's pretty unliked, I think. Certainly before I had a kid, my opinion towards Peppa Pig was pretty unfavourable. I always thought Peppa Pig was crap despite never watching it. And it is crap. However, in this video, I'm going to try and argue for the humour of Peppa Pig because I do think it can actually be a genuinely funny show some of the time. Okay, so disclaimer time. For the past 2 years, I've been woken up at about 5:30, 6 o'clock by my 2-year-old son, and we watch Peppa Pig and we have breakfast together, and I sit there watching bleary-eyed as my son throws Rice Krispies at me. So, there is a pretty high chance that at this point I am so brain broken that Peppa and her family have some sort of like Stockholm Syndrome hold over me. But my channel only has about 200 subscribers, and I think at this point it's probably the best time in the channel's history to show my arse and make a video about the humour of Peppa Pig. I will say, firstly, that I'm not alone in thinking the show is funny. In fact, at the end of about 99% of episodes, everyone on the screen is laughing, and a lot of the time to such an extent that they physically fall over, such is their mirth. So, in this attempt to convince you about the humour of Peppa Pig, I'm going to take a 3-pronged approach. The 3 pillars of Funny Peppa, if you will. The first pillar is going to be titled Funny in Jokes. The show has some good wink to the camera moments from time to time, and I'm going to bring up 2 here. The second pillar is going to be funny characters. So Peppa Pig is a world where everyone is a bit of a fucking idiot, let's be honest. But again, this is a show for 2-year-olds, so every character has a chance to be funny in Peppa Pig. But some characters just dial this up and are the focal point of any funny episode they're on. Thirdly, you have the tried and trusted kids taking the piss out of adults, which is always just a home run. Come on.
Marv! Harry? Why the hell did you take your shoes off?
Why the hell you dressed like a chicken?
I'm up here, you morons! Come and get me!
So pillar 1, in-jokes. There are 2 running in-jokes here that I want to bring up, and the first one is the strongest, I think, so I'll lead with that. The world of Peppa Pig, except in a few cases like the Queen and Santa, obviously, it switches humans for animals, and in some cases vegetables, but that's a different video.
Can you run faster than a train?
Which vegetable makes you run fast? That's a good question. I would have to say a Brussels sprout.
Have you ever eaten a potato?
Once you subbed in humans for animals, it does pose some questions for you, the world-building writer of Peppa Pig. Namely, what actually happens to the actual animals of the world? Well, in Peppa Pig's case, nothing. Animals are now humans, but also animals are still animals. Now, this probably straight away raises an eyebrow, right? Especially in any episode featuring Miss Hamster, the town's local veterinarian, who is a hamster who takes care of pets. But Peppa Pig leans into this for comedic effect.
Because they're up all night eating my vegetables. Some animals eat in the daytime, like my chickens, and some animals eat at night, like, Mr. Fox.
Hello, Grandpa Pig. Putting your chickens to bed, are you?
Oh, yes. Nice and cosy in the hen house.
Jolly good. Well, I'll be on my way. Good night.
Good night.
This is probably my favourite example of the humour in Peppa Pig because this is entirely for the parents. The writers have put their hand on my shoulder, lifted my sleep-deprived head, brushed the Rice Krispies off of my shoulder and said, "Hey bud, this one's for you."
You've blown the stick house down.
Oh, well done.
That's my go.
It was quite easy.
Houses made of sticks are easy to blow down.
I always forget. What's your house made of, Mr. Pig?
It's made of bricks.
Not straw?
Bricks.
Oh, of course.
Because, unlike all of the other jokes I'm about to mention in this video, there's no way a 2-year-old is getting the reference that these animals actually want to just fucking eat each other. Almost like in the world of Peppa Pig, these seemingly civilized and well-mannered people are actively fighting against their inner nature, and somehow in the back of their mind is this natural distrust they have for those that would otherwise be their predators.
Today we will be meeting wild animals.
Ooh.
But don't worry, the wild animals will be safely behind fences. A lion has escaped!
Hello, I'm Mr. Lion. Welcome to the zoo.
But of course, children, not all animals eat vegetables.
That's right, Mrs. Wildebeest.
My name is Madame Gazelle.
Sorry, gazelle, wildebeest. For some reason, I always get those two mixed up. Look carefully into the water.
I can't see anything. There's nothing in there.
Wait, I think I see something. Ah! Crocodile!
Hello, I'm Mrs. Crocodile. I'm the keeper in charge of the penguins.
Penguins!
It is amazing they can live on just the food from flowers.
I wish I could get by just eating flowers.
Yes.
All this talk of eating has made me quite hungry.
Me too. Well, it's our feeding time now.
What's for lunch today, Mr. Lion?
Ho-ho! Lunch boxes for everyone.
The second in-joke centres around Miss Rabbit, who works about 90% of the jobs in Peppa Pig's village. As far as I know, it's never explained why or how she works as many jobs as she does. It just sort of became a running joke.
That's a lot of shopping.
It's for Grandpa Pig.
Oh, I see.
That's a lot of shopping.
It's everything on Granny Pig's list. Where's the car?
I didn't bring the car. I didn't think you'd be buying so much.
Oh, I'll call for a taxi.
Hello, taxi service. A taxi will be with you shortly. Sorry, I'm just popping out. Back in a mo. Taxi service.
And as the season progressed, the gag was to see how many ridiculous places she could be found in.
I'm getting a bit hungry.
Don't worry. There's a cafe on the way.
Oh, lovely. I could do with a nice cup of coffee.
Can George and I have ice creams, please?
Of course. Ice creams for everyone. The cafe should be just about here. Oh,
Where's the cafe? Is it behind that rotten pile of wood?
I think that rotten pile of wood is the cafe.
Oh.
There's not going to be any ice creams coming out of that today.
Hello, what can I get you?
Okay, pillar 2. Funny characters. So as I said in the intro, every character in Peppa Pig has the potential to be funny. The world is wacky and so are the people, and they all kind of like bounce off each other to generate comedy. But there are a few who stand out. And I'm going to talk about 2 of them here.
Here is Grampy Rabbit on his hovercraft. What is that monstrosity?
Is it allowed at a sailing club?
Hello! What a marvellous day for sailing!
In a world full of loud-mouthed shite-talkers, Grampy Rabbit stands alone. Voiced by Brian Blessed, of course, Grampy Rabbit is so full of chaotic energy, he forces all of the zany characters of Peppa Pig to act as a straight man for his comedy. Despite the show having a clear line between children and adults, everyone in Peppa Pig is capable of childlike behaviour, and as a result, no one is really seen as odd or dumb or irresponsible in the world by the other inhabitants of the village. Police Officer Panda can walk into a pole during a speech in every episode he's on, but no one treats him any differently. In the next episode, he's still a respected police officer. As expected in a children's TV show, the childlike and idiotic behaviours of adults never really gets commented on or internalised by the characters. Unless you're Grampy Rabbit.
Will the case be dangerous?
Not at all. Follow me for a completely safe tour.
good. All that talk of the Ride of Doom had me worried for a moment.
I'm your tour guide.
Oh.
Here is Grampy Rabbit.
Let's go on a wild, mad adventure.
Oh, should we put on these safety hats?
Why not? Does anyone have a problem with going deep underground?
I'm not too keen on small dark spaces.
Like a cave, you mean?
And I'm not so good with heights.
I see. Anything else I should know?
George and I like exciting places.
Brilliant! These caves are ridiculously exciting. Please follow me.
Hilariously, all of the characters in Peppa Pig have internalized exactly how chaotic Grampy Rabbit is and react to his presence as such. As one of the granddads, Grampy Rabbit hangs out with the other grandparents, namely Grampy Dog and Grampy Pig. Again, he's treated as this embarrassment in the case of Grampy Pig, who much of the time acts like he's too posh to be seen in the company of Grampy Rabbit, or as someone who is to be avoided at all possible in the case of Grampy Dog.
Ahoy there, matey! I brought your supplies. Oh, thank you, Grandad Dog. I've got my crew with me today. Danny, Peppa, and George. Visitors? I haven't had visitors in many a moon. I get a bit lonely with just the sea and sky for company.
How long have you been here?
Since Tuesday.
Oh.
I've got tales to tell, if you'd like to hear.
No thanks.
Yes, please.
Well, there's the sea and the sky, and I'm learning the banjo. Would you like to hear a song? No thanks.
Yes, please.
I got up this morning. The sea was still there. So was the sky. The sea, the sky, the sea, the sky. Here's your cheese. Oh, I've missed cheese. And a new book. How to run a lighthouse. Oh, that'll come in handy.
Whenever they do get together, despite Grampy Pig generally being the butt of jokes in Peppa Pig, it's Grampy Rabbit who steals the show.
It's very good of you to steer the boats, Grampy Rabbit. But I'm not steering the boat. I thought somebody else was.
Oh dear, no one is steering the boat.
We're lost at sea.
And look, Grampy Rabbit's boat is sinking.
Don't panic! I've been in worse situations than this.
Really?
No, this is the worst. We're saved!
But we're stuck on a desert island.
With just the sea and the sky for company.
And we haven't got any food.
Oh, I've got a chocolate bar.
Good. We should save the chocolate in case we get hungry later.
Oh dear, Grampy Rabbit has eaten all the food.
What a terrible place to be stuck. Is anyone else missing cheese? We've only been here 5 minutes, Grampy Rabbit. I'm going to put a mark in the sand for every time I think about cheese. We need to call for help. All our food is gone. There's nothing left to eat. There must be something to eat. Ahoy there! Hooray! We're saved!
Speaking of butt of the jokes, let me introduce our second comedic character, Daddy Pig. While Grampy Rabbit is used almost entirely for comedy, Daddy Pig is too central of a character to be quite so niche. Daddy Pig will be used to progress episodes, further the story, he'll be used in heartfelt moments, used as a vehicle for whatever message the writers want to impart to the 2-year-old watching, but a lot of the time he'll also be used for comedy.
They might drive differently here.
Oh, driving is driving, Mummy Pig. You see, it's just like driving at home.
At a surface level glance, Daddy Pig can be easily compared to the other cartoon comedy dads in like the Homer Simpson archetype. He's boisterous, overconfident, and especially in the early seasons, incredibly stupid. But as the show continues, the writers start to put a bit more behind the comedy. Namely, it takes the Homer Simpson thing of working in an incredibly complicated job, but unlike The Simpsons, where Homer is working this, in a nuclear power plant, but he's an idiot and that's the kind of gag, Daddy Pig works as an architect and is seen within his role to be an extremely smart person and very good at his job.
What do you do, Daddy?
I could tell you, Peppa, but I think you'd find it a bit boring.
I wouldn't, Daddy. Please tell me, please.
OK, my job is to design and facilitate strategies of function by material means in concrete.
While never dropping the premise that Daddy Pig is essentially an idiot at heart, he's still looked on as so good at his job that he's hailed as an expert in his field and has a global presence for it.
Hello?
Passports, please.
Of course.
Ah, you are Mr. Pig? The Mr. Pig. You must be coming to test our concrete.
Yes. Do you know me?
Oh, your work in concrete is famous in our country. Oh, but I have disturbed you. Good night.
Good night.
Would you like coffee or orange juice?
I'd like both, please.
No, coffee or orange juice. You can't have both.
I don't think we have to be so strict with the famous Mr. Pig. Coffee and orange juice.
Thank you.
Excuse me, I am King Alfonso. Could I have a coffee and orange juice too?
No, that is impossible.
The jokes about Daddy Pig also being stupid come with a bit more to them now as well as the seasons progress. There are less examples of him just doing something just really stupid, and more which go for a chuckle at laughing at the naivety and the overconfidence of Daddy Pig.
Oh, it is impossible to see everything.
In that case, I would like to see the real hidden Paris. The Paris that the tourists don't see.
Bravo, Mr. Pig. Tell me, which part of the real hidden Paris would you like to see first?
The Eiffel Tower.
Ah, okay.
And finally, we have our last pillar, pillar 3, which is kids taking the piss out of adults. Unsurprisingly, adults are easy marks in the world of Peppa Pig. They're just as likely to do something childlike and stupid as the children, but when they do so, there's a moment then when they kind of flip back to that adult-kid dynamic, where the adult is acting stupidly or acting childlike, and then the kid is this sort of innocent beacon of truth, shining a light on the dumb thing the adult said or the childlike way the adult is behaving.
First thing I do is see if the person is awake. Are you awake? Yes, Doctor. Do you know your name? My name is Mr. Teddy. Can you tell me what happened, Mr. Teddy? I tripped over a football. That was a bit silly, wasn't it? Let's put that football where no one else can trip over it. Now, tell me, Mr. Teddy, which bit hurts? My arm hurts. We just need to bandage that arm up. And because you have been such a brave boy, you get a sticker. And remember, always look where you're going. Then, whoops!
Dr. Brown Bear is rolling down the hill. He hit a tree.
Ow, ow, ow!
And apples fell on his head.
Oh!
Don't worry, Dr. Brown Bear. We are here to make you better.
Thank you, but I don't think I need your help. I am the doctor, remember?
Yes, but we must do all the checks.
I really don't think this is...
Not another word. Children, what do we do first?
Check he's awake.
Well done, Peppa.
Are you awake, Doctor?
Yes.
Good. He is awake.
This is all very nice of you, but
Who knows what to do next?
We ask him his name.
Yes, but in this case it's
What
not...
is your name?
Dr. Brown Bear.
Now we ask him what's happened.
You saw what happened. I tripped over that ball and fell down the hill.
That was a bit silly now, wasn't it?
In a similar vein, the kids are also used in a way to highlight some of the flaws that the adults have, such as Grampy Pig's aforementioned poshness and pride.
Ooh, this plant smells lovely.
Oh, that's just basil. Granny Pig throws the seeds in a pot and it just grows.
Oh.
Let me show you something that takes real skill to grow. My tomatoes.
They are very small, Grandpa.
Eat one and tell me what it tastes like.
It tastes of... nothing.
Well, they're not quite ready yet.
Hello, my little ones.
Granny Pig!
Could I have some tomatoes, please, Grandpa Pig?
No. I'm afraid the tomatoes aren't ready. Maybe in a few weeks.
But I want to make tomato salad for lunch.
Grandad Dog is growing tomatoes.
Yes. Maybe Grandad Dog will lend us some.
I don't think we want Grandad Dog's rusty old tomatoes.
Ah, Granny Pig. Lovely to see you this fine morning.
Do you have any tomatoes we might borrow?
Borrow? You can take as many tomatoes as you like. The tomatoes have done very well this year.
They look a lot bigger than your tomatoes, Grandpa.
They may be bigger, but that doesn't mean they're better.
Peppa, would you like to taste one?
Yes, please. Yummy. That is the best tomato I have ever tasted ever.
Listen, like I said earlier in the video, don't let this giant adult man on camera fool you. This is a show for 2-year-olds, and it's not even one of those like children's shows like, say, something like Avatar: The Last Airbender that's really enjoyed by adults and, you know, it's actually secretly quite good. No, this is Peppa Pig. It's a show for 2-year-olds. As an adult, it's crap. But if you're like me and you deprive yourself of enough sleep and keep watching every morning, picking the Rice Krispies off yourself, maybe you too might find something to laugh at. Oh God, that wasn't worth the gag. Oh, don't forget to subscribe.